I'm Teresa. This is your 21-day foam rolling session. So what I'm going to be using today is considered more of a beginner's foam roller. You may have seen some of them are hollow with a slightly different texture and slightly shorter. Those are your rumble rollers, also really great to use, but slightly deeper pressure. So depending on how familiar you are with foam rolling and how much of a deep tissue release you like, this is a really milder form to start with. So when doing foam rolling, it's suggested to always start working from your feet to the top of your body. So first off, we're going to start with your calf release. So placing the foam roller out in front of you, you're going to extend one leg. I like to keep the opposite leg bent. Foot that's getting foam rolled, keeping it flexed, hands just at your side. You're going to gently lift your bum up and you're rolling along the calf and gently back. Along the calf and gently back. And you can spend 30 seconds to a minute per calf muscle. Then changing to the other side. So bending the left leg, extending the right leg, the foot of the calf that's getting rolled. Remember to keep it flexed. Weight a little bit into the arms and shoulders and pressing down and through. What's quite nice once you've got your technique better is to twist the foot and to rotate the belly of the calf muscle along the foam roller. Alternatively, you can also do both calves together. I prefer singular, but each to their own. So again, lifting up requires a little bit more support through the shoulders and rolling backwards and forwards. This one is great, but it does restrict your movement a little bit. So do give single legs and legs together a try. From there, moving to the hamstrings, so you're going to pull the foam roller a little bit closer, touching just under the knees, so you always want to be away from the back of the joint. We're going to start this one with legs together. It's the same thing, bum comes off the ground and shifting the weight backwards and forwards. Nice and gently. The more pressure you apply, meaning the more weight you drop through the muscle that's being rolled, the more of a release you'll get, but also the more intensity. Again, rotating through. So once you're familiar with your technique, you can just roll around, come up onto your fingertips, lifting one leg off. It's quite a nice option if your rotator cuff has the strength. And to the other leg, shifting backwards and forwards. And dropping back down. So one of my unique favorites is rolling out the ITB. Anybody who runs a lot, does a lot of cardio, this is a great and very necessary pressure release. So coming up on the foam roller, so the area you're aiming for is just below the hip. The leg and the ITB that you're going to be working, extend it out, keeping the foot flexed. Opposite leg crosses over just to stabilize, keeping the toes straight out in front of you. Once you've got a good grip, extending out the arm and you roll yourself up and along and back down. Up and along and back down. So if you're using a rumble roller for this one, it can be extremely painful. So just take it easy. Anytime you feel a lot of pain, you can actually try to hold and just keep breathing and allow the pressure to drop in and the release to happen on its own. You can either have the back foot flat on the ground. I find it a little bit easier to move with the foot slightly airborne. And rolling as close down as you can to that knee as possible. Perfect. Changing sides. So exactly the same thing, foam roller to the other side, placing it just under the hip bone. Extending the leg out straight, keeping the base foot flexed. Hand extended, and when you're ready and supported, rolling up and down. You'll find that when you start, a lot of the times you might have to adjust a little bit more just to get a clean range along the whole muscle. That's totally fine. You just adjust and don't be afraid to play with the movement. So gently up and down. As close to the bottom knee, but never rolling onto the kneecap. Next off, we're going to be focusing on the quadriceps. This is quite a fun one. Feel a little bit silly doing it. I like to sit up, knees bent, feet together, foam roller just in front. So I'm going to take my body weight over, foam roller touching just onto my thighs, lowering my weight forward, keeping the legs together out the back, toes almost pointing, and pressing up and rolling back down. Pressing up and rolling back down. Good. So again, once you're familiar with the movement, play around a little bit, shift the weight up, rock back down, twist through and up, and rock back down. Just gently, 30 seconds to a minute, and remember pausing if you find a place that's a little bit more painful, holding, breathing, and release. Good. Again, really great one for after a heavy leg day or after a hard run. Coming off, place the knees down, weight through the arms, and your quads are being rolled out. Right, moving on to the lower back. Important to remember when you're using the foam roller not to go along too high onto the rib area and to stay away from just the spine here where it's isolated on its own. So coming up, lower back supported, we're just going to roll out tiny little bits, gently up and down. So different arm variations here include crossing over front, placing the hands behind the head. This one's quite nice because it gives the neck a little bit more support, and then you can actually roll through and work under the scapula. And just rolling it out. Again, mix and match, try out a few variations, see what feels good. Lowering the hips down, gently coming up off of the foam roller. Now a great one to release into the glutes. Place the foam roller just behind you into your figure 4 stretch. So you're going to cross one leg in front of the other, and we're focusing on the supporting leg. So in this position for me, it's my left leg to start. So again, I'm just rocking around and covering the full glute area on that left leg. Nice, smooth, continuous movement. And then I'm shifting and transferring the weight into the glutes of my right leg or the leg crossed in front. Again, if you're using the rumble roller, this one can be quite tender, so just take it easy. Shifting away. So you can even use your trigger release balls for this one. Doesn't necessarily have to be a foam roller. And changing sides. So bring the foam roller a little bit closer, so you're sitting right on the edge of your glutes, opposite leg crossed in front, and transferring the weight first to the stabilizing leg, in this instance my right leg, just backwards and forwards. I can feel it's a little tender from the previous movement. Shift to the other side, rolling backwards and forwards. And remember, if you always find that one point that really hurts, try to hold on, drop your body weight in, keep your breathing steady, hold it for 20 to 30 seconds, and release. Good. After that, it's quite nice to go into the spine roll, so just coming off and rocking up and down. Good. Moving to the upper bodies, we want to catch into the lat area, so placing your foam roller a little bit away, lying down onto your side. So you almost want to have your armpits underneath the foam roller. Opposite hand is just to support and in front, and you're going to press up and rotate around and through. So you've moved beyond your armpit, just to the back, to the top of the lats, and as far down as you're comfortable pushing yourself. Again, just gently backwards and forwards. So quite a lot of core activation, multitasking, and relax. Good. Let's try that setup on the other side. So placing the foam roller just under the armpit, opposite hand in front for leverage. You can bend your legs or staying straight. You're going to come up, rolling it out, and shifting the weight. Nice and gently, good. Again, if you find that one particular point that's a little bit more painful than the others, try and keep lowering your weight in, keep your breathing steady, and rocking backwards and forwards. Good. And then from here, quite nice to twist around, and you're right there, hands behind your head, and just a gentle rock up and down. So remember that twist we did, so just shift around, moving around, releasing those knots that are there more often than we'd like them to be around the scapula and base of the neck. Nice and gently. And to finish off, extend the legs out straight, just lowering down. So this one I wouldn't advise using a rumble roller with. It's perfect for the solid dense foam like I'm using now. Just the base of your skull supported on, hands at your side, and rolling circles through your neck, just gazing to the tip of your nose and rotating around to the other side. Just a few slight little pause. Shift to the other side. One more each way. And the gaze to the tip of the nose. Across to the other side. And relax. And there you have it, just a brief introduction to foam rolling. So remember, you can follow the schedule of once a week, or this is something you can add to your daily routine. I'm Teresa Moody. Don't forget to check out our blog, websites, and fan page.